Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I got a request from one of you guys to show you guys my summer routine, the products that I'm loving during this hot weather. So I always do brows first and then I conceal around the brows with the Fenty concealer, which I'm almost out of. I had to take the, what is it called? The stopper, I think, out of the concealer just so I can like scrape around and get the last bits of it. So that's what I've done so far. Also, I found out a few things about my skin lately because I've been watching like back-to-back skincare videos for the past week. I always thought I had oily skin, so I would just use products that were like mattifying and that would like dry out the skin because I had acne prone skin as well, as you can see, and I would scar really easily. So I was always constantly using products to draw everything out of my skin because I thought that's what you had to do when you have oily acne prone skin. But the more I've done research, I've found out that my skin overproduces oil because it's dehydrated and the moisture barrier is damaged. So can you imagine? So I found out that I basically need to just throw all the moisture that I can into my skincare routine. So literally for the past week, I've been like using loads of hydrators, loads of hyaluronic acid, moisturizers, sleep-in moisturizers, like everything moisture I've been throwing into my face, and I'm definitely noticing a difference like in my skin texture and also like my skin brightness. You guys might not notice it, but I definitely notice it. So anyways, enough rambling. My point was I've also been using SPF. I didn't use this before, which is another reason why my scars would never go and would also become darker. So lately I've been using this SVR SPF 50 Blur, which looks like this, and this gives me like, it's like a primer, you know, the pore blurring primers. It just gives me like an even canvas while also protecting my skin from the sun. So I mean, I've been loving this and I've been using it as primer as well. And let me show you guys the texture of it. So it is really thick and it is literally, it blends in like a pore blurring primer and it just disappears into this beautiful, like it barely has any cast, especially like you can see it's on my face right now, no cast at all, and it just feels so like smooth on the skin. So it does honestly feel like a pore blurring primer, but it also has SPF 50. So I've been loving this recently. But if I'm not using this, I did used to use this, which is the NARS Smooth and Protect Primer. This also has SPF 50. I took this away with me to Ibiza and it was just perfect. It smooths out the skin just like that one. It has the exact same texture. It's like really thick and it blends into nothing and it just smooths out the skin really, really well. But it also protects your skin from the sun. So I mean, these two have been my go-to primers lately. So loving these. Next, of course, we're moving on to foundation. Now, my favorite foundation, by the way, this is not like a drugstore tutorial. I didn't want to be limited to the products just because of the price. I wanted to pick products that I've actually really been loving. But if you guys want me to do like a summer drugstore tutorial, then definitely let me know and I can work on that. So first we have the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I have been loving this foundation for like months now. Ever since I got it, I've been using it. This is actually my second bottle. I used the shade 4.15W. So this is called the Liquid Whip Long Wear Foundation. It honestly is long wearing. Like you can wear it from morning to night and it won't like start separating or breaking up. It applies beautifully. The coverage on this is amazing. I can even apply it with a sponge and it's still really, really good coverage. Also the NARS Natural Radiant Long Wear Foundation. So this one, like it says, is very long wearing. It lasts all throughout the day, especially now that my skin is kind of balanced. I don't find myself getting extra oily throughout the day because I am like giving my skin the moisture it needs at the skincare step. So by the time I get to foundation, I just find that I'm not getting as oily throughout the day. And last but not least, we have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This is one of my favorite drugstore foundations like for this weather. I did used to love the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, but I did kind of recognize that it was breaking me out. I was kind of like, wasn't sure. I kept getting breakouts and I wasn't sure if it was that. But then I was watching someone else's video and then they were like, oh, this foundation breaks me out. And I was like, so is it that? And then I tried it again the next day and I had like so many breakouts. It's like really big painful breakouts as well. So I've stopped using that foundation and this one works just as well. It gives you that matte finish. The coverage is not as good as the NARS or the Beauty Bay. You can build it up, but obviously I don't like to wear too much layers of foundation in summer. So what I would say is just go in with one layer of this and then take a concealer of your choice and like spot conceal the areas that the foundation hasn't covered. But the finish of this is absolutely absolutely beautiful. So the foundation I'm going to use today, I'm trying to decide between these two. Maybe I should mix them. So I'm just going to take some of that on a brush and just put that onto my face. So as you guys can see, that foundation covers a lot, but you can still see like that one scar or those two scars right there. So I'm gonna go in with my concealer. Okay, so once the foundation is evenly applied all over the face, this is the point that I go in with eyeshadow. I do prefer to do eyeshadow before concealer, just in case I get any fallout. I can go ahead and, you know, cancel that out with my foundation brush or the concealer that I'm gonna put down. I don't wear eyeshadow every single day, but for today I am gonna just do a cute little smoky brown eye. Oh, also I do get asked a lot about my glossy lips and how, like, what is this on my lips. So I have two lip balms that I love. I always put these on at the beginning of all of my videos. So I use the Lano Lips lip balm. This is the 101 Ointment Multi Balm Strawberry, which looks like this. This is actually like nearly empty. And then also I love the Emily Cordon Lip Care, which looks like this. And this one I've actually finished. Like, I've gone through the whole thing, guys. I was traveling with it as well when it like broke, but anyways, love this. And this one is like a red tint to it. So yeah, these are so moisturizing. I absolutely love these lip balms. Okay guys, now I'm back. So I've just gone ahead and done like a simple brown smoky eye, and I was using the Revolution Maxi Reloaded palette in Large It Up. I was just filming for their channel. So also on my eyelashes, I just went in with the mascara, Revolution mascara, which you guys know is my favorite mascara. I'm gonna save my lashes for after I've like set my face. So next we're moving on to concealer. Now I have been obsessed with these concealers ever since they came out. This is the ELF 16 Hour Camo Concealer. They dry down matte, they're full coverage, and they just last all day. And I feel like every time I wear these concealers, I look at my pictures and I'm just like, wow, my under eye looks so flawless. If you don't like a matte concealer underneath your eyes, I don't think you'll like these, because they do dry down. Not super drying, they don't like suck the life out of your under eyes, but they are drying. So the shades I use is Deep Chestnut, which is like the perfect everyday concealer for underneath my eyes. But the day that I want extra brightening, unfortunately the next shade up is Tan Sand. Not the next shade up, they do have shades in between them, but the deep olive shade is just way too yellow. I used it a few times and I was just like, it just looks a bit off, like it's just way too yellow for my skin tone. I do prefer like a neutral under eye compared to like a yellow under eye. So I just think mixing these two works best for me, so that's what I've been doing. And by the way, these concealers are only £5. So what I do first is take Deep Chestnut, I think that's what it's called, yeah, and put that underneath my eyes, down my nose and chin, and also around my mouth. Then I go in with Tan Sand, which is a very bright shade, and I literally just put one dot so it's not too bright. Oh my god, I left my sponge downstairs. Okay, I've got it. Let's hope this hasn't dried down, because like I said, the ELF concealer does dry. So I'm just gonna dab that in really quickly. And when I'm blending down my nose, I take the same product and put it in between my eyebrows and this bit here. I don't like put product here. I just take whatever's left from my nose up here. And then of course, blend in underneath the eyes. Do you see how flawless this concealer is? Yes, I love it. See, I feel like the concealer is already dry. You can see it's like nice and matte underneath my eyes. It's not like dry and matte. I don't feel like my skin is tight underneath there, but I definitely feel like it's on for the day. Do you know what I mean? Also, I like to take Deep Chestnut, and wherever I think I need extra coverage, so for example, this one dark spot right here, I just dab it right there, take my foundation brush and dab it into my face. I don't like swirl it in, because then you can lose the coverage, but I literally just dab it. Now this next step is not important, but I do feel like I like it. I do like to cream bronze. I just feel like it sculpts my face really nicely. I prefer it over powder bronzer. I still do go in with powder bronzer because I like that extra bronzed look. But I love the Revolution Fast Base Foundation in F16. I use this in nearly every single look I do. It blends so effortlessly. I don't like this all over the face because it is really dewy. So if you have dry skin, you would love this all over the face. But for me, I just like it to contour, like to cream bronze. So I put it around my forehead and also on my cheeks. And then once again, I take my foundation brush just because I feel like it blends in a bit better because it already has that little bit of product on it. So I'm just, did you guys see how quick and easy that blended? And whatever's left, I just take along my jawline. I don't particularly like draw a line there. I could, but I just don't. This stick blends, it's the best cream contour bronzer that I have. Like I have the Fenty contour stick, but it's just so stiff to blend. It doesn't glide over the skin really well. It kind of just, you have to like buff it in, and I don't like it that much. So the next step after that is of course to set my face. I do typically just set the center of my face and then of course set my contour with powder bronzer. That just seems to work for me, so that's what I'm just gonna go ahead and do. I want to tell you quickly my two favorite powders that I've been loving. I do prefer a loose powder over a pressed powder. I just feel like it sinks into the skin better for me personally. Lately I've been loving this Vichy, I think that's how you say it, Derma Blend. It's a translucent powder and this is what it looks like. And another favorite of mine is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in Blondie. I love this formulation. Once again, very finely milled. I do feel like this powder is a little bit heavier than the Vichy one. This one's just so lightweight on the face. It sets it without, you don't even feel like you've got powder on your face, to be honest, with this one. With this one I can feel a little bit of powderiness in terms of like it does feel drier than this one, but I love them both, so I kind of alternate depending on how my skin feels that day. But today I'm gonna go in with the Vichy one. I'm gonna take the smallest amount, like honestly I'm gonna tap off some and just press that ever so gently underneath my eyes. So I'm literally taking the smallest bit of this Vichy powder because I don't want to over dry out my under eyes, but I do want to set it just so it lasts all day. And then the rest of the powder I'm going to focus mainly on the points that get really oily. So I don't get oily underneath my eyes. I literally get oily here, here, and on my nose. So I'm just going to focus that powder. By the way, this is the Spectrum brush. I've been forgetting to tell you all the brushes I'm using. This one is from Style Pro. That's the foundation brush that I used. I think that's all of the brushes I've used so far. So yeah, 2 brushes and a sponge. Really easy, in my opinion. Here a little bit, and then also on my forehead here. Like I'm literally using the smallest amount of powder. Now don't get me wrong, I still get oily throughout the day, which is why I am powdering my nose and my cheek areas, because I am still an oily skin type. But now that my skin's not so dehydrated, I'm not as oily. I'm gonna take the smallest bit of that powder and just dab underneath my contour line just to set that area as well. So there's been 3 bronzers that I've been reaching for continuously these past few weeks. Let me start with my most used one, which is the Kat Von D Lock-It Powder. This is a face powder in the shade Deep 205. The warmth on this powder is absolutely beautiful. It's not too far from my skin tone, so it just adds this little bit of darkness but still a warm tone bronze, which I love. I don't really like cool tone grey toned powders, so this is literally like 1 shade darker than my skin tone. It's such a light bronze, but it's just so gorgeous on the skin. It does come out a bit darker than how it looks in the pan for some reason. The second bronzer I've been loving is this Revolution Pro powder foundation. Again, this is the shade F16. I use the F16 foundation stick to cream bronze, so imagine just topping it with this. It just gives it that extra bronze as well. However, be very careful with this because it is so full coverage. It just, if you take too much and then you go straight in, you'll just end up with this patch of powder. So very, very pigmented powder in my opinion, but I've been loving this for bronzing. Then last but not least, this one's kind of new in my collection, but I have used it a couple times and I do really like it as well. This is the Too Faced Born This Way powder foundation in the shade Ganache. I think that's how you say it, and this is what this one looks like. So I mean, they all have different tones, but they all work so beautifully for me. Can you guys see? So these are the 3 I've been going for. I'm gonna go in with the Kat Von D one just so you guys can see the very subtle light bronze that it gives me. So I'm gonna take that on this brush that I got from, I think this came from, the things rubbed off, but I think this came from the Copycat Beauty brush set because it's got that metallic bottom. And I'm just gonna begin bronzing. Now bear in mind I haven't set my cream bronzer, so it is going to come out very pigmented, so you want to do light motions. You don't want to like boom boom, because then it will just stick to that area. Just do light flicking motions. So I hope you guys can see the difference from this side to this side. It's a very subtle light bronzer, but I do like this on an everyday basis. Now for the sake of this video, I don't usually layer up bronzers like this. I'm going to take the Revolution Pro one, which is slightly darker. I'm literally just going to take the smallest amount. I'm just going to buff that in as well and just reinforce that contour bronze area. So even though the center of my face is, you know, set and matte, as I turn, I still have this very skin-like glow to the rest of my face, which I really like. Okay, so at this point, I would move on to do my lower lash line and stick my lashes on, and then I'll move on to blush and lips. So I'm going to quickly do my lower lash line and come back to you guys. This is the face you make when you just realize that your mic was off the whole time. Luckily I didn't do too much, but I was just talking you guys through my favorite setting spray, Urban Decay All Nighter, 100% worth the hype. It makes my makeup last longer. I've obviously done days without it and I've done days with it, and I just feel like my makeup lasts longer with it. It doesn't fade, it doesn't, like, certain spots don't come off. I just really like my makeup when it's set with this, so definitely I believe the hype. I was also telling you guys my favorite blush palettes. So we have the Nip and Fab blush palette in Blushed Brights, which works beautifully for darker skin tones. The only shade I don't use is this shade right here, but the other three shades I definitely do use. And also the Revolution Pro blush palette. You guys can see how dirty this palette is. This is the peach palette, and it just has these gorgeous orangey blushes in here which work beautifully for darker skin tones as well. Must admit I don't use that shade at all, but these three shades I 100% use all the time. So yeah, what else did I say? Oh, I was telling you guys about my love for these lip products. These are the Revolution Sheer lip glosses. They're £3 and they're just so beautiful on the lips, as you can see. I love these two shades and another one called Muse, but Muse has like gone somewhere. It's probably in one of my bags, but this is the shade Head Turner, which is like an everyday nude, but I do need a lip liner with this. And then the one that I'm wearing today is Gone Rogue, and this one I don't feel like I need a lip liner. I did show you guys applied without a lip liner and it just looks like my perfect nude, but some days I want a little bit of extra definition on my lips, so I go in with the Revolution Glory lip liner just gently around the edges of my lips to add a little bit of definition, and that's what I've done today. So that's what's on my lips. I think that's all I said. Oh yeah, and I was telling you guys why I wasn't applying highlight. For me in my everyday life, I don't feel highlight is necessary. I feel like I've got a really nice glow to my skin already. I don't need to add extra. That's just me personally anyway. Maybe as my skin texture is improving, I can go ahead and add highlight, but if I was to go in with highlight, I would 100% go with the Obsession Mega Honey Highlighter. It sits on the skin beautifully. Once again, I think it's like £3 or £4, really affordable. It's available in Boots here in the UK or Target in the USA, I think now. But yeah, this highlighter sits so beautifully on the skin. It's not texturizing. Even when my texture was at its worst, I could still use this and not like hate it, if you know what I mean. Like at the end of the day, a highlighter is always gonna highlight texture, but it just wasn't that bad, you know what I mean. I'm gonna go quickly and do my hair and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look. Okay guys, and I'm back. So here we have the final completed summertime look. What do you think? Thank you guys so much for all your compliments on my hair. I did it because of course I was going on holiday, and I just wanted something that was gonna be easy, and it's already done. So I just wake up in the morning and it's done. I don't have to worry about my hair, but I'm loving the braids vibe, so I might keep rocking it. This is what I've been loving this summer. Let me know your favorite products this summer. What have you been rocking? Did you get any ideas from this video? Have you tried anything that I recommended today? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know some videos you want me to film as well. If there's any other tutorials you want me to do, let me know. Also make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.